Hello, and today I'm going to show you how to sidechain in Bitwig, because I'm pretty sure I haven't done that. And like I'm actually going to show it like in depth and explain sidechaining. It's also called like sidechain compression or side compression, I think it was called. Yeah, or it's just called sidechaining, which is where you use a compressor. But it doesn't. Okay, I guess it does. It does compress because the compressor just lowers volumes, but it doesn't compress it like. It doesn't compress like your audio altogether. It just lowers the volume of all the audio at the same time, kind of thing. Where a compressor will actually like reduce dynamic range and stuff. Like a sidechaining isn't really supposed to do that. So it actually like adds dynamic range specifically for kicks and stuff. So this is more of like an electronic thing. I use it in orchestral music too, like with those deep hits that I get compressed and punchy. But it's like more of a light side chain with like with a shorter or longer release depending, and yeah. So let's get to that. So we'll just talk about the Sidechain Plugin. So basically, this is great. Now my Facebook's gonna explode. I'm just gonna close that so it doesn't like keep dinging, because it's happened before. So basically, the Sidechain plugin in Bitwig is called Dynamics. It's this thing. This is what it looks like when your audio engine's actually on. There we go. And so it's gonna look like this. This doesn't compress audio like the actual compressor does. Where it is right now, at least, it's not doing anything. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you can see they're two totally different things. They still show you though, like the audio coming through, which is nice. So how it works is you have attack and release. And then you've got the amount of gain, like, afterwards. Wait, is that right? Or is that just for visual? That might just be a visual thing, actually. We'll explore that in a second. And then... Not centered. There we go. Okay, my phone's gonna keep dinging. Ugh. Sorry, I'm gonna load a new one so I don't touch it. Okay, so you have dynamics, and we're gonna just put this on like a group track. We'll just make this a group track, and we'll actually bring it to the group track, because you can make like one group track to put all of your everything you do in a project that you want to be sidechained in one group track, and just have that group track be sidechained. I think I explained this in my Bitwig tips and tricks thing, or you can have like multiple groups for different kinds of instruments. But yeah, anyways. Basically, the controls on the left side are not very important. Therefore, I believe designing like very, very funky sidechain like this, which has its uses, I would suppose, but like that's so weird that you can do that. Reset everything. So you select your input from down here. So I'm gonna make something here. Ugh, never gonna find it. Never gonna find it. Oops, no. Where is it? There it is. So this is my trigger here. I like to use white noise. This is basically just to tell the compressor when to activate. So I would have this wherever I want, like there to be like a duck in the audio. And how this works, wait, no, that wasn't it. So basically, pretend all your audio is just a big wall. That's not what I wanted, thanks though. It's just a wall. Like this is your audio, this black thing right here. And so this is without any kind of like kicks and stuff, right? This is what your audio might look like. This is a really extreme example, but if you want to put like a kick in there or something, or things that are loud, like have peaks, hard peaks, like a kick. Oops. How does one fit in a kick, right? Say this is our kick. This is our sidechain. Almost. Yeah. Ooh. So like, oh man. This is why I don't like this program. This is getting hilariously out of control right now. Okay. No, this is not what I wanted to do. Hang on a second. I'm trying to make a point and it's not working. Undo. Star triangle again. So say I want to put this in here, right? But like, you can't just put this loud audio on top of already made like stuff you already have, right? You can't just put audio, like loud peaking audio in already like loud 0 decibel audio of instruments, because then what the new thing you put in, because it only has such a tiny peak, it's gonna get drowned out because it's not just like this singular loud thing. So what you do is you would actually have to like, is this seriously a problem right now? This program doesn't like me. Basically, you want to insert parts where the audio is going to duck, so it's going to look like this. It's not going to look like that. There was a point. Why does it do that? You had to make the audio like duck is what I'm getting at. So it's going to be like, let's try it this way. Let's do it this way. So like audio, right? But you want your audio to actually be like, and in these little holes here, just pretend they're more sharp. You want them to, you want to be able to fit like kicks and snares in here. So yeah, and if you can do that, then that's the whole point of sidechaining. Yeah, so I use this to, yeah, you'll see this actually. I don't know why I try to do it like that. You'll see it. So, you know what? Might be better for this. Where is? I'm gonna open up the tutorial mixing I did, where I just kind of like went over sidechaining quick, but I never actually explained it. Here we are. Yeah, so that's the result of sidechaining. I'm gonna just take the sidechain off and you can hear the madness that goes down. See, it sounds like I just started using Bitwig this morning and I have no prior experience with my life on this. So to avoid that, you add the sidechaining. So once again, it's the Dynamics plugin. And so I am using a trigger, an audio sample that looks like this. And it's activating the, so if I were to actually take out this. The audio, you'll see it's going to look like I was telling you. This is electro though, so like it looks really heavily sidechained. But you see there's literally holes in the audio. To like forcibly put that kick in there. This is, like I said, this is an extreme example, but if you look on the master, the audio comes out being filled even though it's not, because this contains everything. The sidechain group here contains everything that's not the kick and I guess like the little hi-hats and stuff, but those have such a tiny effect on like the actual visual. But yeah, it's coming out like actually like solid, even though the audio, all the sounds and instruments aren't, which is the point of sidechaining. Because if I don't have a sidechain on, here's how you can really tell in this oscilloscope where the kicks are, or not where the kicks are, but how there's no sidechaining. Now you can see the kicks in there by like their faddish content, like right here where my mouse is. But you can also see how there's like this blue, right? This basically means the side volume, and the orange is the mono volume. Now you'll notice when I turn on the side chaining, it's actually all that audio is there, but you can see where the side's going down is also where the fatness of the kick is in the audio data as well, which I think is super cool. But yeah, that's where you can really tell there's like a sidechain going. Honestly, if you really wanted to analyze audio, like a song or something, and like drums and like how producers do their sidechaining, you could literally put it into Bitwig, put an oscilloscope, separate it mid and side, and just like look at it and be like, huh, that'd probably work. Although there's definitely tools for doing that sort of thing, like Fab Filter. You could just tell the EQ to only show side content and just list and have like a mono content separated from each other and just like look at the two at the same time or something. That'd work too. So in the side chain, we're just gonna like stick with this ARP and mute everything but the kick. Oh, that worked. Okay. So let's look in here. Let's reset all our settings back to whatever they were. So let's put new dynamics in here. I always hit that M. That's what happens when you have a microphone stand in front of your face. Okay, so you have a knee in the side chain. So when you add a ratio, this is when the side chain begins. If it's a 1-to-1 ratio, it basically just means when it like, so how sidechain works is there's 0 decibels. That is the default, not necessarily the default loudness of every instrument, but the audio coming in isn't necessarily 0 decibels, but that's just like the starting point. That's just like 0. So whatever your highest peak of volume is that's the reference point for 0 decibels in this sidechain specifically, or unless it's over 0 decibels, then that's the new reference point. 0 decibel, in this case, the high threshold is like, this is all the way down to 0% volume at negative 60 decibels, and then 100% volume at 0 decibels. Another way to think about it is it's just going to be the way it takes away. So when it's at maximum threshold, it's going to take away 0 decibels of volume. When it's down to like 19, it's going to take away like 19 decibels of volume. You can notice how a sidechain, they can go positive for some reason, but they don't actually typically go positive. So I'm gonna, like, you can move this around. This is how many decibels of volume it's going to take away. The ratio is basically how fast it's going to take away those decibels. I might be eating my own words here. Hang on. Okay, first of all, you notice when you're selecting a sidechain input, you actually have to go and find whatever the signal is. So mine's called trigger, and it's in the drum junk group, so I'm going to go find that. And I'm going to use the post option in case for some reason I want to lower the volume of my trigger. It will take that into consideration when you're sidechaining. So I have that selected. I'll be fully honest with you. In terms of I know what a ratio does in a compressor, but I don't know exactly what it does in a sidechain. I think it's... I think it's just a multiplier for how much volume it takes away, honestly. I don't think it actually does anything. It just kind of like, the ratio knob doesn't work quite the same. I don't know what it does. It is a ratio still, but I don't know exactly what it's accomplishing, if I'm being fully honest with you. I just know how to use it with the threshold. And if you don't know how to use it, honestly, just keep it at like 2, 3, or 4. Just keep it somewhere over there. If you're like me, or just find the spot where it sounds good. I feel like putting the ratio around 3, and then just like I focus on like the high threshold, and then the attack and release, and everything is solved for me, and I don't have to worry about anything else. And yeah, so there's a knee. This is basically the smoothness. Like, you see how my curve here, when it's coming back in, it's got like a curve. If you're doing like swing kind of music, I think a knee would be pretty cool. Have some cool applications to like swing notes that aren't exactly quantized like perfectly. And yeah. I still can't figure out what that ratio does. It's bugging me. It's kind of like the whip, the whippiness, like the whip feeling to like a sound, like the higher it is, the faster it like comes up, like, I guess. But that's also this is bugging me. Okay, I have to stop. Okay. So, and then, yeah. So you mess around with your high threshold. I usually take knee off, like, almost always. Like, 99% of the time, knee's off. If I didn't take it off, it was, like, totally on accident. So I take off my knee, and then I put my ratio around 3 most of the time, and then my high threshold is usually between -19 to -27, sometimes -31. It depending on what I'm doing. My attack is almost like as fast as possible every time I'm doing anything, and then my release is like around 200 milliseconds or something. That's more of like a sit here and screw with your high threshold and your release while you're listening to something. I lied. I think I have my release around like 100 or something. So let's listen to this. Oh yeah, by the way, the attacks, just like any compressor, is the time it takes before it actually activates. So obviously on a sidechain, you don't really want to have a high attack because you want it to activate when you tell it to. But it's an extremely crucial part of mixing, like most things are. Yeah, I wish this video wasn't like 20 minutes long. This is important though. This needs to be taught thoroughly. So with that being said, you now know how to use that. Another way people do it, if you've ever been on Facebook or something, and you've seen, or like anywhere, and you've just seen on social media or whatever, like the people, like, what's a good example? Bombs Away. I think Seamless R does this too. Is they do their sidechain like really manual. There's no real difference. I mean, you could say you have more control over what you're doing. To be honest, it's just messy. It's only something I would really recommend doing in like FL Studio, because you can make like your arranger clip, like you can actually have like an automation clip that's going to be the same every time. You can just like throw them everywhere. Whereas if you were to draw out like an automation like that in what did I just do? That was weird. That was really weird. So yeah. Hang on. I'm gonna try to show this here. So basically, what you would do is do this on the kicks. So let's just take out this for a second. You don't have to turn that off. So we can listen to this. Basically, what we're doing was try drawing the automation for like the actual volume automation, because what it is. Volume automation. See, in Bitwig, you actually have to draw it. So you can have it like a straight cliff like this, but that's a bit ridiculous. Also, we want this to whatever our sidechain compressor was at, and our compressor was at -27. So I'm only going to bring this down to like -27. Like this. And you don't want it to be exactly at like straight down, because that causes like clipping and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move it over like this, put -27-ish. And so this is basically an automation clip you'd make in FL Studio or something, and then you would just like copy it and then like paste it where every kick is. And become this big mess. This is like for like trap music or like any kind of like deep house, or just standard, I'd say more deep house, like minimal stuff. Do I have? Okay, so I could pretty much take what I've created, copy it and then put it there now. And then what we're gonna do is adjust it for this. So we gotta drop it again. Like that. So I've drawn on my automation now to suit where my kicks are. It's not showing in the oscilloscope anymore because the oscilloscope is showing the audio in, and this is doing the audio out, where the dynamics is compressing the audio in, and then it's going to the oscilloscope, and then it's going out of the sidechain. But it's still pumping over here. So yeah, let's listen to that now. Yeah, there you go. That's something people do. I notice this, like, the guy bombs away or whatever. He makes like those remixes of those unfortunate people who have videos of them doing dumb things on the internet, like Ieolia, or however you say her name, when she's like rapping, or the damn Daniel. He did one on that. I think he does like things like collabs with the pizza guy and does like, he just does weird stuff. It's more comedic style music, not styled music. He's more of a he's smart. He's working on his music while appealing to the comedy side of things on like Facebook, so he gets like more attention for it and stuff, which is clever. Seamless R does this a lot recently for some odd reason. Just made a random switch to doing this. I think he said he feels like he has more control over it, and that's fine and all, but like I said, I would seriously recommend like really only doing this in FL Studio if you wanted to do this. You can do it in any DAW, but for example, something like Cubase or Abelton would be horrible to do this in. It'd be absolutely horrid. Because like, at least in this, you could just make like an empty audio track. This is quality right here. I don't know why I'm typing in audio. No. So you could add an audio track, right? And then you could add a clip for your side chaining with your kick and snare. And check this out. You know what? Then this would work quality. You would come in here. You know what? Hang on now. Yeah, this one would work a little differently, though. I think you'd have to have your group. Yeah, then you have to get your group to send to the audio 3, like this. So now everything in the sidechain is going to this audio 3 I've put down here, which I'm going to make, like, this color blue, because nothing else is that color blue. And you're going to be that color blue. And what I'm basically going to do is if I have, like, a bunch of these clips now, right? And then I go ahead and copy this audio, or what I've done here. I've now got this here, and when I move this MIDI clip, it comes with it. The sidechain comes with it now. So I guess this is a workaround for what I was just talking about with FL Studio. So you could actually easily do this in Bitwig if you just attached it and made sure this little attach automation to clips is on. And then if we just, take this, just ignore any kind of automations I've made there, and close this up, and solo you. This is weird. I have mixed feelings about this. Why isn't that working? It totally should have worked. So audio 3, and then audio 3. Let's try this. I wonder why that's not working. Showing in a hybrid. Never mind then. The idea was to do this. I guess you could still have the MIDI clips down here doing nothing and actually still send this to the master. Like so. But now what you've got is a storage for your automation. For different kinds of automation clips. So now you could... This is getting weird, hang on. Okay, so you could actually just grab these, control click them up here, like this. And then just make sure you delete these. And then now your automation will stay behind. And then... just use a compressor. It's just so much easier. Alright, yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.